Hey YouTubers, this is Guardian Mike. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like our videos. I have two jewels. Think of them as diamonds, and we're going to take them from different angles and talk about some tough topics. The first one is rather easy in the sense of the concept of the IRS. You're taking care of somebody else's affairs. Tell me about the IRS Transcript. What's that about,
We discovered a tool about 3 years ago. Often it's very difficult to get people's past tax returns, or many times when we're court appointed, folks have been out of touch with reality for 2-3 years, but somehow surviving in their homes. They haven't done their tax returns. So we have an enrolled agent who is different than a CPA, but our request immediately to them is to do a transcript. And it's a request to the IRS, and the IRS within 30, maybe 45 days has to comply with a transcript of all of the assets and all of the information that they have received and you can give them a time period. And a lot of times we're doing investigative work. We want to know if assets have been moved and it's a total recapitulation of everything that the person owns. You can discover assets, and it's a great tool.
Perfect. Now I want to follow up. This is 3 concepts in about 3 minutes. Duty to warn and blood type and allergies. And Mr. Bippus, I'm going to ask you if you agree with this as she assesses this. Duty to warn, blood type and allergies. I never thought of that before. And in my family, should I know if know my kids and my spouse and my immediate family, significant others, what their blood type and allergies are and why?
Traditionally, as a guardian, we normally get those telephone calls where there's been a mental status change or a medical status change, and our court-appointed wards are going out to the hospital. We need to make the hospitals aware that people are allergic to certain items, and if they're not, it can be a concern. We do a duty to warn, and I've only had to do 2 of those in my career where someone was released from prison and had threatened our ward, and so we need to make those facilities aware that someone who is dangerous has been released from jail, and the facility is on alert for that.
So blood type, sex offenders, jail, new releases, you need to do duty warn about risk and stuff. You agree with that, Mr. Bippus?
I do.
And that's just common sense.
It is.
And you've experienced that, and in your own family, this is something you're going to take back and use today.
It is.
Thank you. Now, I have a follow-up here about cremation, and I'd like you both input on it. Cremation and funeral planning and stuff. Those are always difficult topic. 3 topics in 3 minutes. This is your, tell us a little bit about it. I lied, we're into about 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Tell me, Ms. Tope, about that end-of-life cremation burial.
Normally speaking, when we're court appointed, the court appointed wards receive $60 personal spending if they're in a nursing home or an adult foster care home. When people become non-responsive, we tend to be accumulating that money, and we work with funeral directors who will take that $60 a month and put it toward a prepaid funeral for their benefit. And so cremation is becoming more and more popular, and Medicaid will do an emergency cremation, and it started at $960 depending on what time of the year it is. But the funeral directors are wonderful. They work with us, and they take care of the remains of the individual once they've passed away.
Anything relevant there for you, Mr. Bippus, personally in your family or the loved ones as they age that you would use?
To talk to them in advance.
It may be difficult.
To know, it may be, but to get to know what their wishes are and to document them.
All right, I thank you. We're going to fade to black, and I want to thank you, Mr. Bippus, again, former president of the Michigan Guardianship Association. And notice you're non-guardian, but you're still participating, and we need non-guardians as members. Isn't that correct?
We do. We need a lot of people to get involved and be advocates for vulnerable adults and children.
There's a lot of vulnerable adults and children.
There are.
How do you want to surround your people with caring people, right?
With caring people.
You learned that here, and this is a community that cares. Is that right?
It is.
Ms. Tope? Any words of, do you agree with what he said?
Absolutely.
Right,
Find out information when you need it. Don't sit idle, and go ahead and have those conversations about end of life. It's important.
And you are a guardian, is that right?
Yes, we're a public guardian. Yep.
Thank you very much. Public guardian. Thank you here in Michigan. Thank you both very much. We want to fade to black. Thank you.